Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm going to use the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. I so want to call it the Bonfire Tarot, I think because of the fire reference. And for the Oracle cards, I'm going to use the Wisdom of the House of Night. On the back here, right above my finger, is who created them. Or if you go on Amazon, you can easily find them and find out who created them. Just because I don't want to butcher that name. I just hate that I say it wrong. And no matter how many times, it just falls out of my head and I end up saying it wrong anyway. All right, Sagittarius. Okay, something's giving birth to new possibilities. That's the first thing I'm noticing. Okay, so what? Okay. Something's giving birth to new possibilities. I literally think this is actually going to be a good situation in the sense of like, I feel like it's going to put you in a place to actually correct something. The people around you might have a hard time with the situation as it's coming forward, but I feel you might be okay. Let's keep going to find out. Because something needs to be fixed. There needs to be new possibilities, and I feel you pushing that forward. I don't know, I feel like you might be handling something that's a rough situation better than most. So let's keep going. When you come into the situation, though, the situation is stressful already. But when I'm feeling the stress on your side, you're like, well, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Instead of just sitting there going, oh, this is rough, you're just kind of like, well, it's an issue, so let's get up and let's move, let's get something going. Let's not just sit here and look at each other. Let's actually do something about it. Let's try to at least maintain or do what we can to improve this, whatever we can. And for a lot of you, I feel like it's not really a situation that can improve, but actively taking care of it, actively trying to do something about it, does make it more dealable. Like it's easier to deal with if you're actively trying to at least maintain it. So you're actively trying to at least just try to do something with it. Even if it's not really going to get better, you're like, that's okay, we can clean it up a little bit so at least it's more like you can deal with it better. I don't know how to explain it. You're doing something to like pick yourself up and help other people like stay standing. You're like, all right, yeah, we got some old tattered clothes, but let's clean them up and let's mend them up. They may not be the best, but they're going to work. They're going to get us through. So let's keep going. Judgment in the favor of the situation. Like this is the action line. Your attitude of like, all right, let's keep moving. All right, let's keep going. I know it's not the best situation. I know it doesn't look like it's going to really get better, but we got to keep moving. We got to do the best with what we have. You're helping other people like survive through this moment. It feels like a rough moment, and you're picking people up so it doesn't drown them, so they don't start drowning in their own emotions. Your movement forward is keeping them from centering on that. It's keeping them actively moving. It's helping them survive the situation. It's like it's easier to deal with the situation by staying active, and I feel like that's what you're doing. You're helping a lot of other people. Other people seem to be hoping that things are going to get better. I feel like you know better than that. It's a situation that's pretty rough, and you're kind of looking at it like, well, I don't think there's a lot of possibility here for improvement. But other people seem to be hoping. They're kind of like, well, maybe there's something that can go right. Maybe there's something that can get better here. I don't feel you standing in anybody's way with that, but I also feel you not really promoting that because you're like, I don't want to set anybody up, but I also don't want to dash anybody's dreams. So if they're thinking that and they're thinking, oh, maybe this could get better, oh, maybe this could go this way, or maybe it could go that way, I don't really feel you playing into it, but you're not. I don't see you either stepping in like crashing it down like, oh, that's a pie in the sky or that's not possible. I don't see you doing that either. You're just kind of looking like, oh, well, you think that, and well, let's just keep moving. And I feel like that's you're like, okay, well, let's just keep moving. Like you're not really investing in that thought left or right. You're just kind of like you're aware of it, but you're not crashing it down. You're not building it up. The Eight of Swords is kind of like the situation at this point is what it is, and you see it for what it really is. I really feel like you're kind of on point. You're doing the best with this, and your energy is helping other people stand, helping other people make it through this hard time. Because I feel like it's really hard. I really do. But you seem to be, I don't want to say you're the rock, you're the motion that's keeping people going forward. Because like a rock would be sitting there holding strong and something like you hold to it through the weather. you know what I mean? Weathering through the storm, whatever. That's not the energy I'm feeling. I feel like you're pulling people through, keeping people moving, keeping them active so that they don't over center on the negativity. Literally, you got the eight of wands on your side. I feel like you're keeping people moving. For you, for this card, for this reading, the situation isn't really improving. I have to honor what's coming through because I know these cards sometimes come through in different messages, but what I'm feeling, honestly, is like you're keeping people moving. The situation isn't improving, but you're keeping them distracted. But it's very good because they're not drowning in their own sorrow or fears because you're keeping them moving. This is really, really good. Really, really important. Now, as it keeps going forward, you got Fragment with the Queen of Wands coming in, and the Six of Pentacles is coming in from the environment. It's good. I don't really know if this is going to work. Somebody's coming in. There's extra help coming in. And I feel a little weird about this because it's not like you're against it, but I almost feel like you're stepping back at this point. At this moment, you're kind of stepping back and you're kind of like, all right, I see what's happening here. And somebody else is, they have an idea. Maybe, I guess, you're looking at it like, I don't think that's going to work, but you're not stepping in anybody's way. You're basically stepping back like, okay, you do what you got to do if it works. And it's not like you're not willing to help. You are, but you're just kind of like, I feel like you're taking a break and letting somebody else take over. They think they have a better idea is what I'm getting. They think there's something they can add to it. They can give to the situation. Things can improve. Okay, cool. You're not really buying into it is what I'm getting. You see the situation for what it is. But okay, cool. You want to do that? You're not poo-pooing anything. You're like, okay, sure. You're not really pumping it up either, though, because the Fragment here with the Queen of Wands is kind of like, this idea does not know, like whoever's pulling this in does not really see it the way you see it. I feel like it's almost like someone's health is failing and you have seen the day-to-day and you've been there through a long haul with this. You've seen what's come up, come down, and you know where things are. This other person doesn't seem to have as much experience as you with this situation, but you're like, that's okay, a fresh view. If it can improve, I'm all for it. That's okay. Like, if you can improve it, you knock yourself right out. I will help you if I can, if I notice it going better. But for right now, I feel like you're like, for right now, though, I'm going to step out and do something else. Let this person handle it. Let's see what happens. You would like for it to get better. You're not really sold that it will, but you'd like for it. That's great. If it could, great. All right, so we keep going forward. I'm seeing there's face down cards here. Okay. This other person's stepping in. They're not willing to really give up. They keep trying. But they got the Page of Wands. It's like they have all the ambition, all the intention to make things better. Yes, true. Good energy. I feel like for most of you, this should be a good energy. But what they're hiding is they're trapped. What you know to be true, they're finding out to be true. They're just not pushing it off on other people. They're not talking about it. Let's put it that way. They may not be admitting that they're realizing what you already know. They're figuring out. The situation is not that good. They're trying, and you're like, okay, you try. They're ending up. They're gonna get stuck the same place you got stuck. And what's face down is they don't have enough to really do anything different. They can't. I feel like whatever you did, you went far beyond what they can do. I don't know how that sounds, but that's how I'm feeling. Like, they can't do as much as you. You seem to know more about the situation. This is face down as well. They're coming, they don't have as many ideas as they thought they would. This isn't going any farther. Like, this other person is, basically, I feel like the person that's coming in is allowing you an emotional break, emotional timeout. That's good for you. I feel like this is a good thing because you need the emotional timeout. So the whole purpose for the universe putting this person in here is to hopefully give you an emotional timeout, because that's the purpose, because you're going to have to come back into this is what I'm getting. Why is this? I feel like you're trying to be really nice. I feel like that's a positive thing. This is not bad. I don't know how this is going to come across, because sometimes these cards seem a little, You have to take it for what you believe. Let's do that. This is face down on your side. This isn't, I know this may sound weird, this isn't always a bad card. Because what I'm getting here, the situation is not looking any better. You do come back into it. But the deceit basically is like you see how bad it is. But you're not like, I don't see you pushing it towards anybody. You're just kind of like, all right, I see what's going on. Let me see what I can do. And people are like, oh my God, do you think we're in trouble? Do you think this is going to go really bad now? I don't see you like admitting to that. But the reason if this fits is because you're thinking the people that you're talking to can't handle it. If you tell them, yeah, I think it's just about almost done, you're thinking these people are going to crack and they're going to become, it's going to be another situation, another person you're going to have to take care of because they're going to fall apart. So that's why you might be deceiving them a little bit and saying like, well, let's see. Well, let's give it a chance. You never know. You might be giving forward a little bit of hope that you don't really believe in, but because the person or people you're talking to, you don't think can handle it. And you're like, if I tell them the truth, they could fall apart. And that makes a bigger mess. That makes things a lot worse for everybody. So I don't know how it sounds, but it's just kind of like, it feels like this is what you have to do at this point. It's just, I can't be honest with this person or these people right now because they're going to fall apart. And you're keeping it to yourself. You're trying to give like a false air of hope. You're trying to find other ideas. Other possibilities are coming forward. Whatever the situation is, I literally feel like it's the final steps. It's falling right apart. This is the final moment where it's just going to start crashing down. It's hard. It's really hard. You're in a very tight place, but you're succeeding through. I hate to say it, but I almost feel like this reading for a lot of you is almost like that emotional permission to just kind of let people believe what they want to believe because they're not ready to handle the truth. I know that might sound weird, but that's really what I'm getting. They can't handle the truth right now, so you're going to have to let them believe and maybe just kind of paint it a little prettier than it actually is. I don't know. For some people, I don't feel like you'll like that, but it's what's coming through. This is how this is going next. The Ten of Swords is happening. It's happening. I feel like this is another reason why you don't want to point out the obvious. You don't want to point out how bad it is because it's already fallen apart and it's hard and people are having a really hard time with this. What's face down is the Ace of Swords. Communication, but also a whole new situation is taking hold. It's almost like whatever is failing is flat out failing and something new is going to take its place. And there's a little bit of overlap here. There's overlap here in the environment. The tower is hitting. Things are falling apart. It's very strange to me to feel like the tower is falling and another one is being built at the same time. And it's just kind of like, this is really confusing to me. It's almost like you have two different locations that are fairly close together. While one is falling apart, using those pieces that have fallen to erect another one at the same time. It's like one is falling down, one is being built up at the same time, which makes things really complicated. Again, this is why you're like, this is really a lot. It's a lot for anybody to hold on to for anybody to deal with. And I feel like you're just not pushing forward. For some of you, you're just not highlighting how this one situation is crumbling down. You're doing your best with it. There's new possibilities coming forward. New situations are coming forward, and you're helping direct that. But I feel like one of the ways you're correcting this and helping the new situation come to life is a little bit of deceit on your side because I know that may sound weird and I feel almost a little bit guilty saying it, and I feel like that might be your feeling, kind of like you got to let people believe what they want because they'll fall apart. And you have to like basically get them out of the burning building and transfer them slowly over to the one that's going to survive and just kind of like keep them moving. It's almost like they lost a lot of things in this last situation, but you're diverting their attention so they're just centering on what they're going towards and not thinking about what they've lost. And you're kind of giving them maybe false hope that things that they think are still there are not. I don't know. It's hard. It's very unsettling. I'm definitely one of those readers that I tell what's really there, what I'm really feeling. There's loss here. There's definite loss. And I feel like that's another thing with this. You're just kind of like, when the time is right, we'll talk about what's gone. And you're knowing that. And you're very careful what you're saying. I know this card deceit, people get very upset with it when they see it sometimes, but it's face down, like it's face down in the reading, which is telling me you know you're going to have to own up to what you're talking about. You know the truth will come forward. You're just trying to move it forward best you can for now. When the time comes to talk about what's lost, then the time comes. But you're not gonna tackle that animal until it's time. You're very helpful though. Your energy in this whole situation is extremely important. The way you're handling it is right. This could be a lot of spiritual development, by the way, because you're holding things back out of love for someone else, out of love for other people, to make something easier. You're doing your best because you feel like this is because you just feel like, I just can't dump this whole situation on them. It will crush them. I can't do it. And the deceit just seems like a kinder thing to do. I know that may sound weird, but this is a very strong spiritual growth thing, because I do feel like you will, when the time comes, you will talk about what needs to be talked about, but for now you're going to avert it, and that's what you're going to do to avert it, because the people around you can't handle it. And I feel like this is saying, spiritually, they're saying they're giving you permission, like, you know what, you got to get people through it first. You can't let them fall apart, so you got to do what you got to do. Sooner or later, you will have to talk about it, yes, and you're going to keep that. I feel like that's going to be in the back of your mind. Yeah, sooner or later this will come forward, so I got to be careful how I handle this, because I will have to let people know what's really happened at some point. They will find out at some point what really happened. So we're just going to have to play it by ear, and I'm just going to have to keep them moving. I think that's the answer. Like, it's sad a little bit, but you're really holding people together. You're really important. You're really needed in this. I feel a very thankful energy that you are a part of this. So it's a very positive, good energy that you are there. You're very needed there. Whew. I don't know. I think I just want it to be better than it. This is a hard situation. I feel like for those of you who stuck this long, you know what you're dealing with, and you know it's a hard situation. There's just no other way to look at it. But you're going to do your best with it. People, you're really, really helping people. You really, really are helping. So your involvement in this is really good. It's a great thing, because other people need you, and they're going to move forward and get through this because you're helping them. All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.